Hi, I'm Simona from MonaWorks, and in this video I'm going to show you how to create organic-looking shapes with the pencil tool in Adobe Illustrator. We'll be looking at the tool options and see what works best to create and draw vector shapes that look smooth, natural, and hand-drawn. The pen tool is one of the most important tools to master, not just for Adobe Illustrator but also for Adobe Photoshop. It's so useful once you get a handle on it, no pun intended, but did you know that you can create some awesome stuff with the pencil tool as well? It used to be frowned upon, and to tell you the truth, it was pretty useless. But since Illustrator updated the pencil tool, I often use it for whimsical and hand-drawn designs. So let me demonstrate this for you. I'm going to just work with black and white. So first I would like to turn off the fill and just work with the black stroke. Then I'm going to choose the pencil tool. Now you find the pencil tool underneath the shaper tool. So let's go and choose the pencil tool. Shortcut for this is N. So first let's have a look at the settings of the pencil tool. We'll double-click the pencil tool, and in the pencil tool options, you can see on top we can now choose a fidelity. We can either be very accurate or very smooth or something in between. Then underneath the options we have Fill New Pencil Strokes. Keep it selected, check Option key to toggle to Smooth tool, close path when ends are within 15 pixels, and then edit selected path within 6 pixels. Now I'm going to reset, and this is what you get when you first open the pencil tool options. So let me demonstrate what that does. Let's say I'm going to draw a leaf on my artboard. So I'm going to start drawing, and within 15 pixels it closed my path. If I'm not close enough, it won't close it. At the same time, it smoothed it out a little bit. And just to show you, if we change the settings into accurate, and then press OK, and redraw the same shape, you can see how it added many more anchor points. Now if we deselect, you can see everything just doesn't look very smooth. Now if I double click and set it all the way to smooth, and then draw a leaf, you can see how it smooths everything out much better. But it doesn't help me if I want to get closer together with paths. It will sort of round them out. So what I like to do is usually keep it in the middle or the next one over. So let's keep it in the middle and then press OK. Right now you can see it closes my path and just uses the stroke. Now if I turn the fill on as well, I'm going to select the green and then draw a leaf with my pencil tool. You can see that it does not apply the fill. The reason for this is that we did not select the setting. I'm going to delete all of these options here and then go back to the pencil options. I'm going to select Fill New Pencil Strokes. Now watch what happens. I'm going to set the fill for green, stroke is the black. So now if I draw a leaf on my artboard, it will close it and it will apply the fill to it. At the same time, also keep the stroke. So this way I can quickly sketch anything I like. Let's say I would like another leaf, smaller leaves, more round leaf, and so on. At the same time, if I would just create one path, it will add the fill as well. So in order to just create a stroke, I would have to turn off the fill. But if you know you're creating solid shapes, make sure you set your fill color, and in the option settings, you'll check Fill New Pencil Strokes. At the same time, in the pencil tool options, you have a choice to keep it selected. If you don't want it selected, uncheck this and then close. So now when I draw something, it will not keep the shape selected. This really helps if you want to draw elements really quickly. Another setting that's really handy is if you select the Option key toggles to Smooth tool. Now let's select this, and at the same time now keep it selected, and then click OK. Let me remove everything from the artboard here. Now let's say you're starting to create a wreath, and you're going to create your first path for the wreath, and you would like to have it rounded out on top. Since the line is still selected, you can just continue and it will be connected. Same on the bottom, you would just continue drawing and it would be connected. Now that can be helpful if you know you often have to connect paths, but if you're going to create any new shapes and you're very close to the path, it would connect it to it, and then it can get a little annoying. So I usually uncheck it, and then I'm going to continue drawing my paths. In this example, I'm going to add more leaves, one on this side, one on the other side, and so forth. Now we have the Smooth tool within our Pencil tool. Now what the Smooth tool does, for example, when I select it from my toolbar, squiggle over the path, it will smooth it out. Now if I want to toggle between my Pencil tool and my Smooth tool, I can do this via the settings. When I press the Option or Alt key, it will switch to the Smooth tool while still active on the Pencil tool. So I'm going to do this as well. And if I know I'm going to do this a lot, I would also like to keep my pencil stroke selected. So right now I have everything selected. I'll press OK. And now when I draw another leaf and it's not as smooth as I like, I'll press the Option or Alt key and I'm going over with the Smooth tool to smooth it out. Then I'm going to create another leaf on the other side. I don't like this top part, press Option or Alt key, smooth it out. And then I can continue drawing my leaves. Anytime I don't like the look, I can smooth it out by pressing the Option or Alt key. And this way you can really create your leaves very fast. Everything is getting selected. If you don't like it, Smooth tool, smooth it out. And if we had set a fill, of course it would put in the fill color as well. This way you can work really fast with your hand-drawn elements. Smooth tool, and then I continue drawing. Now this is what you can create with the Pencil tool. I really like it when I want anything to look quite whimsical. If I want to have precise curves and I go more to a linear look, more a refined look, moving away from whimsical and hand-drawn, of course I would use the pen tool. Now in comparison, here I'm going to create the other side of my wreath, and of course I get a much more smooth look, less hand-drawn, less whimsical. At the same time I can make use of the pen tool with lots of other shapes. Now you can either create your leaves with the pen tool, or you could also use the ellipse tool, activate the pen tool, and then use the anchor point tool to sharpen the points. This really helps to create shapes accurately really fast. And the pen tool is also great for adding and removing points. Often when I need a triangle, I will use the rectangle tool. I will create a rectangle and then switch to the pen tool and then hover over one of the anchor points, click it and remove it. Now I have a triangle. Then with the Free Transform tool, I can rotate it with the Direct Selection tool, grab one of the points, and then stretch it out. Now the pen tool is really great for creating anything, but you can really give the pencil tool a chance. For example, I can create perfectly straight lines with the pen tool, but did you know that I can do the same thing with the pencil tool? So let me switch to the pencil tool. In order to do so, all I have to do is press and hold the Shift key. I place my first point, I press and hold the Shift key, and then I can draw a straight line. Now, since the Shift key locks everything in horizontally, vertically, and in 45 degrees increments, I can also create slanted lines. Of course, I can do the same thing with the pen tool. I press, hold the Shift key, and place, deselect, press, hold the Shift key, and place my next anchor point. Now, it depends how you like working best. When working with the pen tool, I have total control where my next point is going to fall. With the pencil tool, I can do the same thing, but it's harder to place my ending point. So sometimes I will be over the line, or I will be right on the line. So with the pen tool, the accuracy is much better, but for the fun of drawing elements, especially in a hand-drawn or whimsical look, I really like to use the pencil tool a lot. And often I use a combination of pencil tool and pen tool. I'm just going to show you what I've created with the pencil tool and pen tool in Illustrator together. This artwork here I created with the pencil and the pen tool together. And this is it with the pen and pencil tool. I hope this video gave you a better understanding of the pencil tool and when to use it and how it can be really useful, especially when you are going for a whimsical and hand-drawn look for your creations. Plus, in the end, it is just so much more enjoyable to draw with it, instead of fussing with the pen tool, anchor points, paths, and handles. Of course, you can always tweak the shapes and paths in the end with the pen tool, and sometimes working with both together can really give you the desired outcome. Just give it a try. Now, if you enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a like and also subscribe to the channel, and hit that tiny notification bell so you don't miss any other future tutorials.